So this is what it's boiled down to, huh? Are we really doing this again? Seriously? What's going on, guys? And welcome back to the channel. Always happy to see you guys here. And welcome back to my I Know What You Did Last Summer film review series. This time with I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer from 2006. This makes the third in the entry. We are just about there, folks, with the new film opening up just this weekend. I've already got a friend of mine and I's ticket for it for its premiere. I am super excited. So for those of you who have not caught him yet, I did the first two film reviews, and they should be in the link down in the description below, so check those out when you can. So I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer. You basically have a group of friends who pulls a prank on each other to where somebody ends up tragically dying. After burying that secret, a year later they are stalked by a hook-wielding killer who knows their secrets. This one blew. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it for you at all. It sucked.
Here's a nice piece of shit.
So much so that I don't have a single positive thing to say about it. I really don't. Spoiler alert. When this came out back in 2006, it was a direct-to-video sequel. It has nothing to do with the first two. None of the original cast was in it. Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze Jr., which I don't blame them. I would not imagine a world seeing those actors caught dead in a film like this. Because this one was just bad. It was the only one in the series that I only watched twice. This being the second time since it came out. And the first time when it came out. And for many of you who know me deeply, that's a big deal. That's a big deal because everybody knows that I take my films seriously and I watch a majority of mine over and over. So with that being said, let's just dive right into it, shall we? Starting with the negatives. This is going to be a weird review because of that. The quality in this film is very, very low. And it kind of makes you appreciate the things that was brought out in those first two films. Despite my problems I had with it, which I still stick to. But despite that, after watching this one, those two films seem like perfect filmmaking in my opinion, especially after watching this one. Here, they basically tried to make it its own film, while still being kind of related to those first two films. It's not canon at all. There's one particular scene where they actually do mention a little bit of the events of those first two, but it's in dialogue. You don't see any of it. I touched on this a little bit. None of the original cast shows up. These are brand new characters. These are brand new actors. But nothing is canon in this film that was related to those first two other than that one scene. And even then, even that scene was a little bit of a sketch because they do mention it in passing, but in a way it's like, it's kind of weird. You just mention it like that. Like, we got this idea of this story that we heard, this legend. So it's like they kind of play off as a legend in the same way of those first two events, of those first two films. They kind of play it off as a legend, so in a way they act like it's not really real, that they just got this idea from something they read, and it was just weird. But to go from how great the first film was, especially in terms of storytelling, and then the second one being just campy fun, to this, it's mind-boggling.
You stupid.
As soon as I found out that this was coming out, even way back then, and it was going to be a direct-to-video release, red flag, definite red flag. I mean, there's always a catch whenever a movie ends up like that, especially to a sequel to two great films, two better films. But like I said, the quality on this was very low, and I think that had a lot to do with the camera choice that they made. Now, I did do a review for this, but I sort of felt the same way when I was watching 28 Days Later, which always came off to me as like a found footage thing. Now, I'm not saying that this one, I'll Always Know, came off like that, but just the way that they filmed it and the way that they proceeded to go about how they filmed this was really weird. First of all, you have all these flashy sequences that just made the whole entire film seem like a flashback film. Like, the entire thing, every single shot, from like the first frame to the last frame, just seemed like a flashback episode of something that was doomed to fail from the start. I was having to end up closing my eyes for a majority of it because it was so flashy, and I was like, dude, would y'all chill out with that, because it just kept on constantly happening. So much so that I could have used this camera to make a much better fan-made film, a little bit of a better shot movie than what they did for this. It's like somebody was pissed off at that second film, so they were like, oh, I'm just going to make another one and just crap all over it and just do whatever I can to destroy it. Especially how it was handled. It was just atrocious.
I'm so happy with my evil plan.
Please let this new one be better. It's got to be better. It's going to be hitting theaters. Please retcon everything in this. Just make it a sequel to I Still Know. But we'll see. And again, it was just really weird to me. And because of that, the quality was just at an all-time low. And it just failed on so many levels, faster than Wile E. Coyote and his crazy inventions. Nothing about this film stood out at all, and you have a cast of characters that was basically a joke. The entire time did I ever believe their performance, that I ever believed the situation that they were in, because every single time somebody would try to do something dramatic, it was like off of a really, really bad old soap opera. That's how it was. Now, I am not sure where these actors came from, and I hope to God that they got something better than this. Would it been like, what, 19 years now? I hope they got something better, but these characters were abysmal. None of the things that they did in this film, I believed. They see a dead body laying out in the middle of the room, which is basically their dead friend, and instead of just them making me believe their trauma and their passion, nothing about this screamed even slightly remotely that. Every time a dramatic scene would come up with them screaming, I felt nothing, because no effort whatsoever was put into it. And it just came off as a joke the entire time. It just never seemed like they were there, and it just seemed like they were going through the motions the whole entire time. And it was just embarrassing. Just embarrassing. I found myself kind of wandering off a couple of times because of that. I'm like, God, this is embarrassing even for me as a viewer. So that was a big fat swing and a miss. Another thing is, and also compared to those first films, kind of made me appreciate the killer in those first two. Because in this, they dipped it even further down the chain. And again, compared to those first two films, after the way the killer was in this, kind of made me appreciate those first two films even more, because the fisherman in this was just abysmal. It kind of made me appreciate the physique that the killer had in those first two, especially after finding out who played the fisherman in this third entry, which was Don Shanks, the guy that played Michael Myers in Halloween 5. He did not do a good job at all in this. Just the way they made him look, he was more scrawnier, he was shorter. And I'm like, really, on top of the crap that y'all decided to pile on this, you decided to go even further with that, with its main villain? Really?
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
I hate the fact that they made this a ghost story. They made this more of like an urban legend movie than anything else, to where you have this fisherman that's basically an actual legend. Like that urban legend you always hear about, they actually referred to it in the first film at the beginning on that beach. They actually done it that way, and I'm like, really? And going into this, I knew this was going to be a more of a supernatural take on it, but my God, the way that they went about it was just horrible, and again, sucked. Especially when you get to the reveal and what he looks like, what the killer looks like. It was just, no. They tried to do it in such a dramatic way, but because of the way it was shot, going back to what I said about how this film was shot, it was just so cheesy, and because of the way that they shot it, it was just not good at all. Seriously, after all that, I'm surprised my face didn't freeze up like this. That being said, the way that this film was lit was so poor, again adding on to that dip in quality that I referred to earlier. And because it was lit so poorly, a lot of the kills was just not seen. There's this one kill where this woman was getting gutted, And because it was lit up, I couldn't hardly see what was going on. The way she fell off these stairs, off of this stairwell, it was in like slow motion, and you could see blood spewing up, but it was done so horribly that I couldn't get into it. I was like, what the hell is going on here? Okay, the killer's killing somebody, but where's the effect? Where's the overall dramatic feel that I want to feel, that I want to have in a kill like this, and any kill actually, because there was none of that, none. This is just a sad movie because you have two not great films, not perfect films, but a lot better films, especially comparing to this one, to where they just dump it straight to video, or these days you would say straight to streaming. But it's just sad, like with two films, again, not perfect films, mind you, but a lot better in quality, and then you go from that to this. Interesting. All in all, guys, I'll always know what you did last summer was definitely a dumpster fire. Even back then when it first came out, I knew it wasn't going to be as good. I was still curious. Still a dumb kid at that time, but curious nonetheless. This was horrible. So much so that a lot of the people I would talk to on social media when we would talk about these, they wouldn't even know about this. They have never heard about this one whatsoever. I would have to bring it up to them, and the few that did know about it felt the same way I do. This one was really bad. It was very terrible. I would definitely not recommend it. It is definitely something that you should just skip over entirely. So I'll always know what you did last summer. Were you actually a fan of this one? If you are, no judgments here. What was your thoughts on this? Did you like the direction that they went with this? Were you a fan of how they handled this at all? Or were you like me? Did you just think this was a total dumpster fire? They could have done better. They should have done better. What was your take on that? Leave me a comment down below and give me your thoughts. Thank you so much, guys, for clicking here and watching this. I really do appreciate it. As always, like, subscribe, comment, and share. Make sure to click that bell icon so you don't miss a thing if you like what you see. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.